Hello, folks. So, I was actually trying to understand why, one of our cloud like exporters, Prometheus exporters, which is in this case CloudWatch exporter. It's actually the yet another CloudWatch exporter. This one was not giving metrics when I tried to get some metrics. Only when I used search tags, it didn't work. But when I didn't use search tags, it worked and it gave me all the data. When I say search tags and search for specific, you know, uh, set of tags and values pair, it didn't give me any data. It basically just said no metrics data found. And the last thing that I did was I think it was around a week back. Last I did was enable debug logs, so I could get a lot of debug logs. So I also noticed that there's a lot of data that has been, you know, thrown out by the debug log output. For example, this is one log that is like 6.5 KB over here. Interestingly, it stopped here, but it's not over. It comes up like, for example, if you take this up, if you take up the whole line and put it here and remove this alone, it's not a proper JSON, but we can actually format it. So let me just say it's a JSON and then format it, and you can actually see that it's not a proper JSON. There's actually an extra something over here. Let me remove this, and it's half JSON. So there's remaining over here basically. So key, right? And then if I format it again, you'll notice that there is some part of the JSON over here. I mean, some extra things messed up here, but then finally you get this, which is this. And then now if you actually format the document, you'll actually get a full JSON. And you'll notice that, so I actually got this already. So let me just put this as, yes, yet another CloudWatch exporter AWS API call response to. I think these both are the same because I just did this checking. I mean, I just did this conversion and there's no red green lines. So it's basically this only. The interesting thing is the thing that I'm looking for, the volume that I'm looking for, the AWS Amazon Web Services EBS Elastic Block Storage volume, the disk that I'm looking for is actually there in this data, right? And you can actually see that it's this is the volume, right? This is the volume, and it also has the CSI volume name, like the other value also, right? So this is the volume we're looking for. So if I look for this volume, so there's only this one of this volume. If you look for this volume, you'll notice that there's a lot of this volume mentioned in these logs, and then I realized, it's being mentioned somewhere, right? So it's being used, and it says somewhere around this, saying dimensions mapping something, and then it says, just a minute. So it says stuff like 1 minute. I think I was looking for, this is the first place where it occurs, okay? So here it says associator mapping and then some mapping ID something, right? And then the next place is over here, right? Here it says found mapping. Right, everywhere you can actually see this found mapping and then it mentioning this, right? So this volume. So here you'll notice in line 283 that it says associator mapping, that's all, right? In line 110, I think, okay, 110 is where the actual response came up, so that's fine. So here you see this. So here it says, the message says found mapping, and then the next one also it says found mapping. So again and again it says found mapping, right? For this thing, but I don't know what happens after that, right? So, and then I can also see this, right? Something saying skip true, right? And I can see a lot of the skip true. And by the way, if you look through the last one, you'll notice that so this is the last one, right? So you'll notice that it says found mapping over here, and then it says somewhere below that resource is not matched or something, right? So that's what comes up in the next line: signature, metric name, and all that. And then finally it says resource not matched, associate loop end, skipping metric unmatched by associator. So this is what comes up all the time, right? So I need to understand now what happened here. So I was going through the code, trying to understand, looking through the code, and basically associator.go, there's only one file, I think. Let me check. Oops. Okay, so there's only one such file, right? And the thing is, when you look for basically that volume, you'll notice that first thing you'll notice is this thing saying found mapping. So you can actually look for this, and skipping metric, we can actually look for that also. So found mapping comes up over here and over here. Okay, this is the test. Okay, so let's just check that. So this is the one. So and then the next thing is skipping metric unmatched by associator. So it shows up here, right? So these are some of the files to look for. So skipping metric and associator, right? Found mapping, and loop start, resource not matched also. So loop start comes up here, and then loop end is also there. Associate loop end is also there. So you can actually see this in line 221, and then skip and all. And then you'll also notice skipping metric unmatched by associator. So these are some things you'll notice, right? So skipping metric is what I got before. Associate loop start, associate. So when you look for this whole list, you'll notice that the first thing that happens is resource not matched. Okay. Not sure in what order this comes up actually. Let me get to the first one, and maybe I might just be able to find out. So say skipping resource and all that because not matched. This happens somewhere else. So it basically tries to do mapping. So I also noticed that, so this is V1 by the way. I'm not sure why V1 was chosen, because if you can see here it says V1 1.55.5. So this is not version 2 of SDK. So V1 is using the V1 SDK, and V2 file, client file, is using the V2 SDK, V2 Golang SDK. So I'm going to be looking at this. So it was able to actually, let's just do something there. It was able to find out that some things don't match, but I think some things do match. So that's what it found out, right? So you can actually notice that there's some more data. Okay, so some more data. I think response is not much. Okay, content length is this. Okay, there is more content actually over here. Anyways, I think there's a lot of content over here also. So just a minute. JSON format document. So skipping resources was not matched. Okay. So just a minute. So yes, yet another CloudWatch exporter AWS API call request one.json. This is the request and response. Three, right? And here you can actually see that this thing comes up here. You have some more data. Okay, format. Okay, we have all the data here. So that's all we have the data. So twice it called, and finally I think it asked for action list metrics, and then this, and request, and then I'm not able to see any response. Okay, response is here. So response, it says these are some of the, what do you say, volume IDs and stuff, I guess. So it has a lot of response here. Volume IOPS exceeded check and all. So weirdly, I also noticed that the version is a custom build. I don't know why that's the case. I mean, ideally, I'm looking for here deploy just a minute exec. So get deployment -o YAML image. Basically, it should have a image where it clearly says the version name. So I'm not sure why that's the case. I can't see the version at all. 62.1 over here. So just a minute. We join. Okay. 62.1, yeah. So it's not mentioned here at all. So that's a problem by itself. I'll just put that up. Bug. So I'll say official QA image says does not give exact version in the logs. So it says basically the image I'm using is this, and the logs it gives me looks like this. So it says custom build, right? Debug, and this is true for even info logs. So yeah. Okay, and then these are info logs. So just put something random. Let's do x for now. As you can see, it says custom build and not 0.62.1. Some reason. I think the build process of the container image has to be checked. Maybe the version is not getting passed correctly during build up. Config file, don't need it, but okay, I'll give it. Just a minute, I'll just go here and get it. This is the config file I'm using. YACE version. Okay. Exec. YACE help version. Right, or YACE version. Yeah, okay. Okay. Steps to reproduce. Maybe I'll just put this down. Do I have? Oops. Yes. I think I can run Rancher. Okay, so starting virtual machine. Extensions, okay, images. Loading, okay. I think preferences. Kubernetes, I think I've not enabled Kubernetes, which is good. So I'm using Docker D. So, yep. I think I'm good to go now. Starting backend. Maybe now it should work. Yep. Docker pull. I'll just say this. Let's pull this image and show it to them. Cool. So once this is done, I think we'll have something to run. All good? Yep. Allow. Oh yeah. So the thing is, here I ran the thing. It says custom weld only. Help version me version. Cool. I need to kill these. Cool. I'll just say RM. Cool. So I can actually run these and give it to them. Cool. So I'll just say Docker is Docker similar container engine running. So here I'll just say RM, right, and then just say RM, and then just say RM here also, right? So if you just copy paste this, I should get the same output. Cool. Run the following commands and you should see the following output. Okay, so I'll just copy these and remove this so that it doesn't current output. Okay, so anything else? Cool. Don't think custom build should be mentioned here. Custom build. Yeah. Oh wait. Apparently missed already existing. Okay, this already it's very nice. Have new releases, all the fixes and new features. Oh, someone created this long back. And they fixed it, okay. So let me just not create it. Cool. I think I can just close this off then. Cancel, close and discard. Okay, then I think version is not problem. I think it's good. Cool. Anyways, now I want to go back to checking out this. Cool. So now, so I wanted to actually go ahead and check out why this was happening, right? So currently, if you notice, it says skipping resource because search tags do not match and all. And I think not last page. Okay, not last page. So it says last page. Anyways, so get resource pages with context. Okay, peak implementations. I think this is inside something and started return true. Anyways, so here what I can do is I can look at this. I can actually see that there is a skip and then there's a mapping found. If the mapping is found, basically, so it says associate metric to resource, finds the resource that corresponds to the given set of dimensions, names, and value of a metric. Okay. So the guess is based on the mapping built from dimensions, regular expressions, regex. Case map can't be found. The second return parameter indicates whether the metric should be ignored or not. Okay, so if there's no map found, so it says loop end here, and the mapping is not found for some reason. It says tagged resource, ARN namespace, region, and tags. Okay. So for some reason it comes with this logger with metric name. Okay. Oops. Metric has no dimensions. Don't skip. Okay. If it has dimensions, then it creates the this. Okay. Is there any log which says metric has no dimensions? Don't skip. Nope. So I can actually see metric name, right? So it says associate loop start. So this is the first one that goes through, and associate loop start, version, job type, metric name is volume IOP succeeded, dimensions, volume ID, instance ID. Okay, great. ARN nothing. Okay, so this is true for all the stuff. Okay. Loop start dimensions is basically this, right? It's basically volume ID and instance ID are the dimensions. So we have a regex. Okay. So basically it goes through this mapping. Okay. So associate dot mappings. Okay, where does this come from though? The mapping should already be there. Okay. I think there's a mapping because when it says loops attempt to find the regex mapping, which contains the most but not necessarily all the metrics dimensions names. Regex mappings are sorted by decreasing number of dimension names, which favors find the mapping with most dimensions. Okay. So if you see here, it says found mapping. So it has found a mapping, and it says contains all. Basically, I think regex mapping dimensions. It says found mapping. Mapping index is index. And the regex mapping is this. Okay. So found mapping, and let me go through that 1 minute. Let me go through this like this. Toggle word. So it says this dimension mappings, and then it says this is, I don't know what this is, but this is the ARN and this is the volume. Okay. And it says dimensions volume ID. Okay. Mapping found mapping, and then dimensions is volume ID. There's no instance error because this is a volume related metric. So once the mapping is found, a regex mapping has been found. The metric has all and possibly more. Has all the dimensions computed for the mapping. Now compute a signature of the labels, names and values of the dimensions of this mapping. Okay. Of the labels, names and values of the dimensions of the mapping. Try to find a resource match. Okay. This loop can run up to 2 times. On the first iteration, special case dimension value fixes to match the value up with the resource ARN are applied to particular namespaces. The second On the first iteration special case dimension value fixes. So fixes to match the value of if the resource ARN are applied to particular namespaces. Okay. Second iteration will run only if a fix was applied for one of the special case namespaces and no match was found. Okay. It will try to find a match without applying the fixes. I don't know what this fix is. I don't know what is this dim basically. Is it a dimension? Okay, so I think dim is dimension. So dimension fix applied for true or false. Okay, so this covers cases where the dimension value does line up with the resource. Okay, so mapping found true because the mapping has been found. Is the dimension fix applied? False. Okay, so should try fixing dimension? Yes, true. So when this is true, right, you go through this, you build the labels map. Okay, so I don't know what this is, but it says returns a map of label names and labels names and values as well as whether the dimension fixer was applied. For some namespaces, values might need to be modified in order to match the dimension value extracted from ARN. And I need to be modified in order to match the dimension value extracted from ARN. Okay. So you do this and then you say Prometheus model, common model. Okay. Labels to signature returns a quasi-unique signature fingerprint for a given label set. Collisions are possible but unlikely if the number of label sets the function is applied to a small. Okay. So we have the labels over here, but only the signature is available to us. Check if there's any an entry for the labels. Okay. Names and values of the metric and return if the resource and return the resource in case. So it says resource matched and then signature, right? So can you find that? Yes, there is there's no resource match actually. Interesting. Resource signature attempt not matched is what comes up. Is it? Okay, that also doesn't come up. Interesting. Interesting. Resource matched signature. I remember signature coming up in multiple places, but let me see where else it comes. It comes up here, okay. And you create a new associator and okay, so let me get this right. So here there was a signature over here. Okay, what is this? What is this log line? So it says resource not matched. Okay. Okay. Oops. So basically resource not matched comes up. So why is that though? It clearly says this. False. This is true. It goes in. Resource match doesn't come up. This also doesn't come up. Interesting. Actually, this is the latest version. Let me see if I can get it for. This is 0. Oops. I think this is the latest version. I don't want the latest version. It probably has many fixes. 0.62. Yeah, this is the version that I'm looking for. So let me just put it as 621, right? 0.621. Right, let me check the code now. So it says resource matched, resource not matched. Okay. So this is the code and okay, so it said found mapping. Check if there's an entry for the labels. Source in case. Okay, so resist mapping to two strings. So the signature for some reason is not there on it for some reason. Okay, so dimension mapping of signature and then okay. I think this two string we basically noticed. This is basically the signature. I think. For some reason, the signature does not match. The mapping that it created here, labels to signature. Interesting how this has changed. Let me try to see the difference between these two, right? I won't actually see how this has changed, but I think there's a problem here. It says resource not matched and then the signature, so it gives the signature yes. The resource not matched and the signature is this. Interestingly, the signature over here, so I want this basically, right? Okay, this is the third one, sorry. I want it here. Wow, I thought we had it here. Oh, it is here, okay. Oh, this is request, sorry, this is the response. So we have it here, right? Thing was, the problem was here in the dimensions. Basically, I think the issue is fixed now. I'll have to actually try it out with a new version. I'll probably know only if I try it out with a new version. Okay, so let me see if I can find out if there are newer versions. No one has put up a new version of them. This is from January 5th. Right. So QA.io. Let me see if I can get the image. Just a minute. So yet another CloudWatch exporter. Yeah, so this is the one I'm looking for. Okay, so these are the tags. So they have latest and then the master. Okay, manifest. So this is master. Basically, this one has everything. I think the manifest is this. Let me see if I can actually use it over here. Just a minute. So this is the image, right? So let me actually pull this out and let me see if I can get this. First tag, image format. A tag. Okay. Interesting how they gave for pod man. It's the same method. Anyways, pod pull by digest. Okay, oh, this is the shard with 2 pieces digest. Cool. So I'll just pull by this tag. So I think I already have master is the tag. So Docker. So let me run Rancher and try this out. I think there's been a bug before and they fixed it now. So, oh, should I just restart this now? Checking for updates, okay. Anyways, let this come in. So Docker pull and the same master. These two are the same though. Yeah. So I'm just not going to touch them. These are older versions. There are older versions, I think. No. Anyways, then I'm just gonna run this. Is Rancher running? Okay, so I think this is still getting started. So the container ingest is still getting started, and show muted. Oops, this is pretty slow. Looks like there are some issues, but I'm not gonna look at them for now. So I'm gonna pull this master and try it out and see if it works. And then also run that, basically check the version and all, and then run that to see how it looks like. Maybe I'll use the digest because I don't think it makes sense to use the tag because master can keep changing, so I would rather just use this digest, right? So I can just inspect this once to see what the digest looks like. Digest is this, so it's this, right? Alright, let me check it out. Yep, that's the digest. So I can just copy this command and just run it, right? 256 and all that. So run rm version. Oh, this one says 0621. Okay, cool. It's weird though because it says that. Well, let me actually try to run this by putting the image as different thing. So I can just say this. Oops. This is the SHA-256, right? So at SHA-256 colon, SHA-256 colon, and then the image digest pull. Yeah, it's there. Let me just yeah. So here I'm gonna do this, right? So I'm just gonna say edit, and it's gonna open up a tab for me. I expected it to open up a tab for me. Permission denied. Okay. Okay, I guess I don't have access to change this. I thought I did. Just a minute. Okay, so now I'm root. I can just say something like this. QCTL. I didn't mention what is kubeconfig. Weird that it wouldn't take it. Okay. Kubeconfig has to be okay. So it has to be this. Yeah. Now let me just say edit, and might just work. Let me see if I can do it. Maybe I don't have access. Okay, so it does show it up over here. An error occurred, permission denied. Please make sure the directories are writable. Okay, close. Okay, interesting. I need to probably, your echo editor is this. I'll probably unset editor this time and then edit it to see if it works. Permission denied. Okay. Not sure why that's the case. Hmm. Weird. Let me do something like